for instance, taking yoga. Some days I wish I could just be a yoga instructor for life, and I wish I could have pursued that earlier in life. It wasn't available back when I was in my younger years, and I wouldn't have been able to afford it. My family wouldn't have been able to afford it anyway. But that pursuit is more about meditation, calming the mind, controlling thoughts per se. So sometimes, because I get headaches anyway, it's like if I just take 2 of these, stop the brain activity, that could stop additional activity. We have a bar called Tapster. I actually think they tap people's brains. I'm so not kidding. Because stuff can be said and done out here on the streets, and it's like, that's crazy, because you'd think they'd listen to my conversation privately with my friend last night, or they're living the same exact life I am, you know, because they're talking about the same exact thing. So this happens in Philadelphia. How is it caused? Do those people know? And some of these people, you're like, there's no way they would know. These people, there are people out there who appear to be struggling, so how would they know your business? It's not like they're super spies, you know what I mean? So when you logically think about it, when you logically think about it, there are people who just don't pass the test of being like super spies. So no offense to them, but very few people are elite enough to be in that category. So how would people who aren't super elites, walking around, maybe even looking to buy and sell drugs, how would they know what you talked about privately with your mom on the phone the other night and have a conversation as if, you know what I mean, as if as if they were mocking your conversation? You're like, that is crazy. They just said verbatim what I was talking to my mom is deceased, but what I was talking to so-and-so about. How could that be? That's a good question. So it's possible that we haven't all been able to catch up to futuristic things going on, and it's hard to, people don't know how to explain it, or if there are people who do know how to explain it, they don't want the masses totally getting it. So therein lies, again, the discussion about oppression and certain people being in control and others not. If you were to have this information, then, you know, what does that mean for turning the world upside down in terms of who's in control, who isn't, so forth and so on. So whatever. Straight down there, way across the river. We're kind of slowly approaching the river. We're like 2.5 blocks away. There's these beautiful pinkish, purplish clouds hanging out in West Philly, and it was pretty there for a second. I don't know how well we'll be able to see it. I'll try to speed it along here and cross. This is 22nd Street. I'm on Arch, heading west towards the giant supermarket. And there's also these 2 new buildings. That's one of them. And there's one that you can't see that's behind this row of this block here. But they look very similar, mirrored high rises. Oh, there's even 3 of them. They have another one even over there that's still being built. So anyway, they are right on the water, per se, or the Riverwalk. There's the Riverwalk in front of those buildings. I have a walk this evening. I'm sort of biding time because I don't want to get there too early. So I was like, let me run these errands first. I can't stand running errands because I can't stand spending money. So I'm really thrilled to get that Tylenol for $3.89 when it would have been $7.49, or with tax it would have been closer to $7.90, close to $8. So that's a major coup. Aberquinnick. Saw a guy with an Aberquinnick sweatshirt, I think. The British would call them jumpers, but anyway, that's Delaware, Aberquinnick School District. So I'll stop it. Do you want to get in the argument with, you know, the crosswalk voice. I'm gonna go ahead and go over here and show, just kind of show this area really quick before going into the Giant. I have plenty of time. I could use the workout of going up these steps. Feeling a little paunchy tonight. I haven't been able to practice yoga like I used to. They don't have the same yoga that they used to have. The movement is over, and the yoga that's available now is, well, crap, to be honest. I don't even like using that word, but the strictest of yogis wouldn't even use that word. So, but I can't help it because I'm a little bit upset that the same yoga is not available. And it used to be available for the masses, donation-based. We had a movement here that was major. There were people coming out of the woodwork. This city was crawling with yogis. These days, at best, you have 50 to 60-minute yoga. It should be busy. Oh, it goes up into the, because they have that's for the grocery store down there. That's for the residents, I guess. How about that? I kind of wondered how that worked. So their garage is like upstairs, grocery store is downstairs. This is 60 North 23rd. Is it called the River something? So, hi, thank you. Oh my gosh, there's a little social at the dog park. So we came on the right night, I guess. So there's a dog park down here for these apartments on the Riverwalk here, Arch and the Riverwalk. Please be a good neighbor, clean up after your pet. How cute is that? Little Shiba Inu and Pepper Spaniel. Sorry, I had to think for a minute. Chocolate Lab. How about that? Oh, a little Frenchie over here, Blue Merle. So that is a railroad track bridge there. So that's part of the train station over there. That's sort of a new section of the train station. But anyway, these were opened during and after the pandemic, right? I think these really opened during and after the pandemic. They were being built leading up to the pandemic. The Giant store opened right around the pandemic, after the pandemic. And then lo and behold, we had this crazy weather event with tornadoes, floods, rainwater flowing into from the Schuylkill, which we just saw the Schuylkill, into Vine Street Expressway, into the base. The garage was flooded. It was crazy. Like, I kind of wondered if having bad street drains that were clogged, like incredibly clogged, aided and abetted in the amount of flooding that was experienced here. So I was like, it didn't flow over to the Delaware that well. Over at the Delaware, they weren't flooded. So we keep seeing this guy, So Muscle Man over here, we saw him the other day, and I was trying to figure out who he was because he reminded me of a friend of mine from Florida. And I was like, God, he reminds me of Dale if he were like incredibly built. This guy looks like he's a rock star with his six-pack abs and everything. So anyway, here we are at the Giant store. Anyway, during that weather event,